Well, hello everybody. Remember the chili we made the other day with the zucchini? Well, I had some of it frozen in my refrigerator, so I'm going to be using that up in our dish today. So this is something you can do with leftover chili if you have any. Usually when you're cooking for a family and you cook chili, there's none left. But if you happen to have 2 cups of chili left, this is one of the recipes you can use it for. First of all, we're going to put water in our pot. Because we've got to cook some macaroni noodles. Now this is a quick, easy recipe. Anybody can make. It doesn't take skill. It just takes basically 3 ingredients. That might be too much water. There. Because I don't want to wait too long to get my stuff cooked. And you'll need 1 cup of macaroni noodles. Now, you can use any kind of noodles you got or pasta you got on hand in this dish. I prefer to use the macaroni noodles, the elbows, because that's basically what you see in macaroni and cheese, or mac and cheese. This is going to be chili mac and cheese. And you'll need some kind of cheddar cheese, whether it's sharp cheddar, mild cheddar. I've got cheddar cheese and I've got some Mexican blend here that I'm going to use up. It has 4 cheeses in it. So you can basically use up the cheese that you've got. And that's what I'm going to do with my chili mac and cheese. We'll see how much of this, whoop, glad it wasn't opened. I'm going to pour it in this measuring cup and see how much I've got here. And that's about well, that says 2/3 of a cup of cheese. But like I said, you can put as much or as little cheese in it as you want. I'm going to add extra cheese with this because I love cheese in my mac and cheese. Well, I can't get my cheese closed. Y'all have that problem when you open cheese, you can't get it resealed? Sometimes you get a little bit of cheese in the little track and it doesn't want to reseal for you. I think it's sealed. And see, this is something you can do when you're cooking for yourself. If you make a pot of chili, like we did in my other video where we used zucchini, you can freeze part of it. And if you remember this recipe, which is simple, 2 cups of chili, 1 cup of mac and cheese uncooked, and at least, say, 2/3 cup of cheese, which I've got basically almost a whole cup of cheese here. It's just not packed down. That's all you need to make your chili mac and cheese, and you do it with leftover chili. So if you're a single person or maybe just a elderly couple, make your potted chili, enjoy your chili, then freeze 2 cups of it. And later on you can make your chili mac and cheese with it. It's a great way that people can save on their food budget, eat healthy or eat good, eat the things you like, and not have to spend extra money on every recipe if you freeze part of your food that you cook every time. My freezers are full. I mean, I don't even have anywhere to put garden stuff yet. I've got to start eating stuff out of the freezer because I'm so used to minimizing the cost of each meal. I mean, it's basically burning my brain not to waste food. So that's why I end up with so much food. I mean, I hate to waste food, but yet I've got food waiting to be cooked sometimes, and it worries me because I said, oh my goodness, if I cook all this, I'm going to waste it because I can't eat it all. So then I freeze it. And then I end up with a freezer full of food, and I'm still cooking and I'm still freezing. That doesn't make sense, does it? But I froze part of my manicotti because I can't eat a whole casserole dish full of manicotti at one time. I mean, it's impossible. I'm not going to be able to eat all of this mac and cheese, or chili mac and cheese, so that's going to have to be frozen somehow. Otherwise, I'll be eating it for a week. But it just goes to show you, if you cook smart, cook the things you like, and don't mind cooking a larger quantity like you always did when you had a family. Just cook a regular recipe, or you can cut your recipe in half. Now, I could have used a half a cup of cheese, 1 cup of chili, and a half a cup of macaroni noodles or pasta noodles. That would have cut my recipe in half. But I wanted to use up some of my chili, and it's not going to hurt to refreeze some of it if I want to do that. We'll see. But when you're on a budget, you know, you want to eat good, but you still want to eat low-cost meals. So this is a low-cost meal. I already had my cheese in the refrigerator. I already had my chili already cooked. The only thing I added was macaroni, or pasta elbow macaroni, and I had some of that in the cabinet. So it shows you how you can take 3 easy ingredients with something you've already prepared days before and make another dish out of it. To me, that's eating smart. It's saving your dollar. You know, don't trash your food just because you've got too much and you can't eat it all. Freeze part of it. Make your own TV dinners. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my chili in this big frying pan. And I'm using a bigger pan because I was afraid that the small pan would not hold everything. And I didn't want it, you know, like coming out. Bubbling over the sides and stuff. And I'm just simply heating this up And this is a dish your kids will like. If they like chili, if they like mac and cheese, they're going to love chili mac and cheese. I mean, and that's as an American as you're going to get a recipe for mac and cheese and then add chili to it. But it's a great way to eat good food, save your food budget, reuse food that you've already cooked to turn it into a brand new dish, and not spend a lot of extra money to do it. Something kids would love. Adults love it. I mean, I love mac and cheese. I love chili. And when you combine them, hey, that's good too. With this dish, the one thing that takes the most time to cook is your macaroni noodles, your elbow pasta. It's going to take longer to do that than it's going to do anything else in this dish. And I'm cooking it today because this is a holiday weekend. If you don't want to spend all your holiday weekend in the kitchen, it's a great way to fix a good meal and not spend half a day in the kitchen trying to cook a meal. I know you want to be out doing holiday things with kids if you have them, or with your husband or wife if you have one. You don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. And maybe you don't want to get out and grill out today. You know, maybe it's too hot or maybe it's raining. And this is a great alternative to a good holiday meal. Now, if you wanted to, you can fix garlic bread, garlic toast. Any of that stuff will go great with this because it's, you know, it's a pasta dish. And I apologize for my phone, y'all. I forgot to unplug it. Because I want all this piping hot when I put my noodles in, when I put my pasta in. Yeah, and I rinsed my spatula off because I'm putting it down over here on the counter. I didn't want to get that sauce everywhere. And we can turn this down a little because we just want it hot. We're not trying to cook it. I came up with so many recipes on a tight budget throughout my divorced years, my single living years, that I could probably write a big thick cookbook on low cost meals for one person or for two. You know, using a lot of leftovers and just seeing what you can come up with. And I had a storm come through night before last, and it pulled down part of my shade cloth on my canopy. It bent over a lot of my sunflowers, the wind was so strong, and it broke off some of my tomato plants. So I was out there yesterday trying to stake up sunflowers, stake up tomato plants, take the broken pieces off, sticking them down in the dirt to go ahead and root another plant with it. And some of the broken pieces had actual tomatoes on them, y'all. I hated it. But I'm posting a video this afternoon of that if I can ever get it uploaded. And then we got another storm that came through last night, and the sunflowers that it didn't blow over the night before, they blew over last night. So I've got to get back out there today and stake those sunflowers up. And I've got to go out and reconnect part of my shade cloth on my canopy because one corner of that came loose last night in the wind. I tell you, these storms are treacherous. I mean, thank goodness we didn't get a bunch of hail or tornadoes in the one we got that came through last night. And I basically slept through it. It didn't start till right after I went to bed, and I had fallen asleep right after it started raining, so I wasn't up worrying about it, that's for sure. I'm going to check one of my pasta noodles for doneness, if I can get hold of just one. We're about halfway, a little more than halfway, so only take a few more minutes. See where my well, I can just drain them. I was going to get my colander and just pour them in that, but I think with my tight space I can drain them in the sink beside my dish pan that's full of water and dirty dishes. I'll just put the lid on the pot, and that's usually the way I always drain mine anyway. I really don't take the time or the space to try to drain it in a colander all the time. I'm going to go ahead and drain them. I'll never forget the first time I tried to do this. I literally poured my noodles down the sink. You just have to be careful with your lid. Don't let your lid slip. And now I'm just going to dump that cup of cooked. Remember now, that's a cup of uncooked elbow macaroni, not cooked macaroni. You measure 1 cup of uncooked pasta. And now I'm going to put in my cheese. And like I said, it only calls for like maybe 1/3 cup. But I like my cheese, so I put basically almost a whole cup of cheese in here. And now we're just going to mix it together. Melt our cheese in there. See, that's why I wanted my sauce to be, or my chili to be hot already. But how easy is this? Like if you've just come home from work and you want a good meal. and you got leftover chili, make you some chili mac and cheese. I mean, it's already looking so good. I just want to dig into it. And I've been wanting to make mac and cheese for a while. I just wasn't thinking about chili mac and cheese. But how easy is that? And we still got to let that heat up some. I'm going to get some buns. Well, a bun. And yes, I'm using a hot dog bun. I turned my oven on broil. You know what? And that pan's too big to go in my broiler. Let me get a smaller one. And I don't even know if the pizza pan will go in there. We'll use the pizza pan. Remember, breadsticks. Well, hey, if you got well, that bun is broken. But it'll still make good toast. I'll put 2 in there. So if you grilled out hot dogs, you got a couple left. You don't plan on eating hot dogs today. Toast your buns. I'll get my garlic. And I get my butter. You know me, guys. I'm never prepared for everything. Never. Never am I prepared for everything. I usually decide at the last minute what I'm going to cook, but I've just got garlic powder. I'm going to put butter on my hot dog buns. While my cheese is melting, because some of it's not melted yet. I mean, the kids would get a kick out of this. Yeah, and I'm using that little broke off piece. Why not? Take some, it's garlic powder with parsley in it. Just trying to get my cheese all mixed up in there. How good does that look? Now I'm going to put my toast in the bottom of my oven, and I almost have to stand on my head to get to mine. Leave it in there for a second, let it get toasted. Yeah, I gotta build my appetite up. Well, not my appetite. I gotta build my strength up, basically, to go outside and start working in the garden again, and see if I can find a few more tomato stakes so I can stake up my sunflowers. Even the biggest one on this side, the rock garden, even that one has kind of leaning over. Yeah, because I know y'all are probably been grilling out hamburgers, hot dogs. You got hamburger buns or hot dog buns left. You can toast them just like I'm doing these and make you some garlic toast out of it. Don't waste the hot dog and hamburger buns. Gotta stay in there a minute or two more. And I'm dressed real casual today. I've got my shorts on and my old top because I knew I was going to get out there in the yard and start working in the garden again as soon as I get something in my stomach. But we'll leave that simmering just a tiny bit. Keep it hot while the buns are toasting. But don't that look good, y'all? Well, you can't see it, can you? I'm sorry. Look at that. Look at this chili mac and cheese I got going here. Finally, my cheese is all melted. And I know some of you are going to ask, at the end of this video, what was the ingredients that went in there? It was 2 cups of leftover chili, 1 cup of uncooked macaroni or elbow noodles. You can use any type. You can use shells. You can use whatever type of pasta you want. I just happen to use elbow macaroni in my mac and cheese, so that's what I had on hand. And just put 1 cup of that uncooked in a pot, boil it, cook it, and then you add it to your dish. You can use 1/3 a cup of cheese. You can use a 1/2 cup of cheese. You can use a whole cup of cheese. The amount of cheese you put in there is up to you. And see here, I got my toasted, and I almost burn it, but I got my toasted buns. That's my garlic toast. And it reminds me of breadsticks that you get at not Red Lobster. What is the name of the Olive Garden? It reminds me of the breadsticks you get at Olive Garden. So now I'm going to dip me out some of this. I'm going to turn it off the heat. Don't that look good, y'all? Chili mac and cheese. Oh my gosh, that is going to be so good. And see, I'm going to get my meal out of this, and I'm going to have over a half a pan of this left. And there is my 3-ingredient chili mac and cheese and my garlic bread. We can call them breadsticks. But see, you don't have to have Italian bread or French bread or the fancy breads to make garlic toast. Use a hamburger bun. Use a hot dog bun, just like I did. And it's just as good. Sometimes it's better, depending on what type of bun you use. So I've got to taste this, y'all. I know it's good. I hope it's cooled down enough it's not going to burn my mouth. Because it's steaming. Look at this. Don't that look good? Y'all take the first bite. Open wide. Hot. That is so good, y'all. So good. Your kids will love it. And there's my bread. And yeah, I know I didn't really include the bread, but I decided at the last minute I'd show you a cheap way to make you some garlic toast if you didn't have any fancy bread around. You got any kind of bread at all, you can make garlic toast with it. That is so good. So good. Y'all, that's better than garlic, regular French bread or Italian bread. And that was just a hot dog bun that was left over. And see, there's a big old hunk of meat right in that chili. Right with those noodles. Oh my God. Look at that. Use your leftover food. Make another dish out of it. That hits the spot today. And you see, it did not take me long to make it. It didn't take many ingredients to make it. So if you made chili with me the other day, and you got any of your chili left, which a lot of you won't because you got kids, imagine your chili's gone. But if you have any left, make your 3-ingredient chili mac and cheese. You're not going to spend all day in the kitchen. You get out, enjoy the holiday festivities, but you're going to have a good meal. And with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good day. I'll see you on my next one. Bye now.